Understanding YouTube is an absolute priority if you're looking to grow a channel. If you understand how YouTube works as a platform, you'll be able to avoid massive mistakes that stop the growth of your channel, make the right decisions to bring in thousands of views to your videos, and be well on your way to even generating an income with YouTube. So today, in just 11 minutes, I'll be explaining YouTube from what you see when you first jump on the platform all the way to uploading your first video. And in case you're wondering who we are at 1 of 10, we're a team who have helped some of the biggest creators on the platform produce tens of millions of views. We've all grown YouTube channels ourselves and also have a tool that helps accelerate your YouTube growth. More on that later. So let's dive straight in. You see, YouTube is actually like a cinema. Each video is a different screen, and there's only so many films people can watch in one day. A creator's job is to make the best film out there, so an audience chooses to come to their screen over others. So when you first jump onto YouTube, you'll see the homepage and the videos that you're seeing here are completely dependent on what you watch on the platform. In this example here, you can see that I have a lot of art and film videos suggested because I use this account to watch that particular kind of content. These specific categories, such as art or self-help, are what you call niches. Do not make the mistake of trying to cover multiple niches on your channel simply because it's going to confuse people and it's going to be very difficult for you to grow a returning audience because people just won't know what your channel is about. If you're new to YouTube, it's much better to choose a smaller, less competitive niche for two reasons. First is the fact that in smaller niches, there are fewer large YouTube channels that are competing for your audience's attention. And second is that smaller niches can address specific problems for specific people, which means that when you're scripting and coming up with ideas, you have a very clear vision on who you're talking to in your videos. To go a step further, a sub-niche is when you go into an even more specific category of content, like this creator here, who only makes watercolor painting videos within the broader art or painting niche. So how do people even find your content? Someone who is using YouTube can find content in several ways. The most obvious is through the homepage, which suggests videos that the algorithm is pushing. Another is through search, where the videos at the top are ranked from overall performance. And finally, the suggested tab, which is this sidebar here. If you're just starting out, it's far better to target the homepage in the suggested bar over search. Search-based videos tend to be videos like how to edit photos in Lightroom Classic, whereas a video created for the homepage targets people differently, such as incredible Lightroom technique I can't stop using. The problem with search-based videos is you're going to be competing with so many well-established channels already, and there's also a little bit of psychology that comes into play. You see, when someone is using search to find a video, they're usually looking to solve a specific problem, and once that video solves that specific problem, they click off. They're simply not in the frame of mind to go and binge watch all of your videos. And if you want to succeed on YouTube, people binge watching your videos is exactly what you want. So let's talk content. On YouTube, there's currently 3 types of content: short form, which are vertical videos up to 3 minutes long; long form content that can run up to your heart's content in like a horizontal format; and also live streaming. If the goal of your channel is to monetize it and make money from it, you can do so with all 3 types of content, but the requirements are different. First of all, you'll have to hit 1,000 subscribers regardless of anything. Then if you want to upload shorts, you'll need 10 million views. But if you're looking at long form content, you'll need 4,000 hours of watch time in the last year instead. Word of advice, do not focus on these numbers early on. They are completely irrelevant. You should only be focusing on increasing the quality of your content and uploading as frequently as you possibly can in the early days of your channel. Generally speaking, all content falls under the banners of education and entertainment. For example, many gaming videos tend to be for entertainment, but there are also educational videos within the gaming niche, such as this Minecraft building tutorial here. You might also hear the word edutainment floating around with channels like Mr. Who's the Boss, Mark Rober, and Easy Actually creating videos that educate people about their chosen niche, but are also incredibly entertaining at the same time. So what happens when you click on a video? Well, first is the question of what gets the click, and that is the title and thumbnail, of course. The title and thumbnail are what defines a creator's click-through rate, otherwise known as CTR. The CTR is calculated by the total amount of clicks on the video divided by the number of impressions, which is the number of people who are coming across your video on the homepage, suggested tabs, or search. Across all the different niches on YouTube, there are many types of thumbnails, ranging from simple designs to complex ones, but they all focus on one thing: enticing curiosity. To achieve a higher click-through rate, the more questions your thumbnail generates, the better. Higher CTRs within the range of 5 to 10% or more tell YouTube that an audience is interested in a certain video, which can result in YouTube pushing your video out to more people, but it's not the only factor. The question is though, how do you even come up with good ideas and thumbnails in the first place? Well, one of the best things you can do early on is just simply study overperforming videos on YouTube. Now this can take hours of research to collect everything that you need, but if you're looking to save time, you can use a tool like 1 of 10 that pulls the most successful videos from YouTube for you to model your content from. Say I was a cooking channel and my sub niche was baking cupcakes. Now here I have a growing list of videos that have done extremely well for channels, so I'm looking at an idea format that might work well for my cupcake channel. Okay, let's take this video here. We could transform it into something like 99% of people ruin their cupcakes with these 3 mistakes, or something along those lines. By studying these overperforming videos, you're setting yourself up for success because you're studying what's actually working on the platform. So if you're ready to take YouTube seriously and upgrade your channel, you can use the code T50 for 50% off today. So once a video does get a click, there are several factors that will define how well that video does, and in the long term, how well your channel does. First is retention. Retention is the percentage of the video your viewers watch on average. It basically shows how interested viewers are in your video. To understand viewer retention, you can look at the retention graph, where a flat line means you're holding people's attention and a sudden drop shows where people are leaving the video. Drops can happen for many reasons, but 2 of the most common ones is the fact that people become bored and simply click off, and the second is that they already got what they came for and don't need to watch the rest of the video. Every single YouTuber will see some form of drop off within the first 30 seconds, which is why it's so important to work hard on your introductions and meet your audience's expectations immediately. On the opposing end, a spike can mean that people are rewatching a part of your video or have skipped a previous section and they're skipping to the point of the spike. This commonly happens when people skip sponsored sections. Now, video retention itself contributes to your total watch time on your channel. Watch time is incredibly important because all YouTube wants is for people to stay on their platform, so it's literally a definition of how long people are spending on the platform through you and your videos. Aside from watch time alone, YouTube also looks at session time, which is how long someone actually spends on your channel alone and your content alone, which is why I mentioned binge watching earlier. The longer you can keep people on YouTube, the more YouTube will push your content out to a wider audience. A couple of ways to increase your overall session time is to use video end screens that lead onto another one of your videos, or guide your audience through a link into an organized playlist of your videos that automatically plays one video after the next. But with all of that information covered, let's go and head over to upload your first YouTube video. So once you hit create and start uploading your video file, you'll be met with this page here. First of all, you need to put in your title, and now for the description, there's a couple things you need to pay attention to. If you're a new channel and you don't have many uploads, at this stage YouTube is going to be trying to work out what your content is, who it's for, and where to place you in the algorithm. YouTube will try and understand this by looking at your titles, your thumbnails, description boxes, the script of your videos, and more. So with your description, if you give some form of a brief summary of what your video is about and ideally put in a couple of keywords that help YouTube understand your content, this can help YouTube with that identification process. Next up, we have your thumbnail upload, and this is where you'll want to upload a high quality JPEG image in HD resolution, which is 1920 by 1080 pixels. Now, if you remember earlier when I spoke about playlists, this is a good moment to add your video to a playlist you might be trying to lead viewers into to increase that session watch time on your channel. For YouTube Kids, click no. If you're a kids channel, that's a whole different part of YouTube altogether that I won't be covering in this video. As for the rest of these settings on the first page, you don't really have to worry about changing too much, but I'd pay attention to a few things. First of all is your tags. You can treat these in a similar way to the description. They're not going to have a massive influence on whether your video goes viral or not, but including a few keywords about what your channel does and what your video is about will help YouTube identify your content more easily. Secondly, make sure your video is being published to your subscribers, although this won't really matter when you're starting up with not many subscribers. Finally is your category. Simply select what's closest to your content, and let's move on to the next section. For this next section, I would highly recommend adding subtitles. What I tend to do here is click on type manually and then simply copy and paste my script in so it can automatically sync with my upload. YouTube does automatically generate captions for your video, but they commonly include mistakes. So uploading your own just makes YouTube's life easier and helps with that whole identification process. Next up is checks. Don't use any copyrighted music or content, otherwise you're going to get jumped here. Unless you use it in a transformative way, of course, although, yeah, avoid the music. And finally, it's best to let your uploads sit unlisted for a while, as unlisted is a semi-public format that can give you a peace of mind that everything will be fine once you hit publish to the wider public. But once your video is put public, its success will be defined on how well its thumbnail and title is performing. So if you're looking for thumbnail formats that will help you beat the algorithm this year, click on this video here.